Hi, everybody. How are you? Crafty Chef Diamond here. Welcome to my prep table. I tell you guys, yesterday I didn't have to go to work. Yesterday was Friday. I had a great day. Um, I spent a lot of time with my animals. I tried to attempt making this video 4 or 5 different times, and it just wasn't my day for it. I just think something was telling me, spend this time with your pets, your loved ones. Just rest. You have a big run today. I do have a large run today. The sun is coming up. It's a little wet here in Virginia. We had a little bit of rain last night. And yeah, I am going to get some miles in for Dopey today. I'm not going to say how many miles. It's going to be a very long run. I will tell you my attempt is going to be, I'm going to start at the house and head to DC and see how well Crafty Chef does. I've been having a lot of, still having problems with my health, but as I'm going to do the best I can. That's all I can say. I'm going to start. I don't know whether I'll finish or not. That's the same thing at Walt Disney World. I know I'm going to make it through the first 3 challenges. That's a piece of cake. The endurance of doing it back to back, that's going to be a huge challenge. And I think the adrenaline inside of me is going to get me to the next level. For the 26.2 miler on Sunday, first week of January, it's going to be sheer motivation and pulling out every little bit of energy I have to complete it. I have been wearing a special belt, like a kidney belt, something that holds everything together. Because I've been having liver issue, kidney issues, and lower abdominal issues. And I am seeking, medical support for that. And do the best that Crafty Chef can do. And she has to get sagged out of the 26 miler, then so be it. I know it's going to, I have worked hard for the Dopey, and we'll see what happens. The Lord is going to lead me down that path, whether I continue on or I have to throw it to the side and take a sag bus. But I still have plenty of time. And yeah, so today's a big day for me. And I think congratulations to Shenanigans with the Berg, Yvonne. She is doing a Richmond run today. And thoughts go to her and her husband. I think it's just a short one, like 5.5 miles. I'm not quite sure. But good luck, Yvonne. And she sent me a message wishing me good luck. I'm having some Christmas coffee. Okay. Let's see. I did have a visit from Diamond Art Joy. Oh my gosh, you guys, we had a great time. And time just flies. It really flies when you're having a good time. We did get a little bit of diamond painting done and just enjoyed each other's company. We had a really good time. And I can't wait to do it again next month. Yeah. I think we have 2 visits scheduled next month before Christmas. And yeah, so anyway, so let's get started. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. This is our last Diamond Painting with Friends for the year of 2024. It is hosted by Diamond Painting with Jack. Guys, I have seen some wonderful starts, progress, and finishes for her Hello Kitty paint along. Wow, she had a lot of participants. There's been a lot of participants this year, and a big thank you to everybody who hosted a Diamond Painting with Friends for the 2024. December, we do not have a paint along. I am coming up with some ideas for our Facebook group. I was going to make it like a free month, post whatever you want, but then come January, we get right back into the swing of only themed items in that Facebook group. And I went ahead and thought, no, we can't do that, because then people are not going to get back to that. They're just going to start putting it's going to start a problem. So we're going to come up with some neat ideas to get through the holidays. Yes, diamond painting and the holidays for yeah, so that's, that's coming soon. Then we go into 2025. Diamond Art Joy sent me the new schedule. It's so beautiful. It is on the Facebook group, the revised one. Donna does the posting for that. So January is Ease Your Whips into 2025, hosted by Cat Hair and Chaos Kim, shared with Designer Dragons. And I'm going to share my canvases on my next video, guys. Designer Dragons, hosted by Diamonds and Stuff, Wendy. And then we go straight into February. I always go like 3 ahead, but I'm going to make a huge announcement for everybody for 2025. And then, yeah, I'm going to do that probably the first week of December. February, Heart Health Awareness, hosted by Shenanigans with the Bergs, Yvonne. That gives you plenty of time to look for a canvas that is heart health aware. Any type of, I'm sure if you go to her channel, she will start telling you about her description of her heart health awareness and what canvas that she's looking for. Ease Your Whips in 2025 and Designer Dragons. We've been advertising it for quite a while. Wendy pretty much tells everybody about her upcoming paint-alongs. Go visit Kim, and Ease Your Whips in is really easy. Grab your whips. She did a whip parade, and she said she was going to try to knock out most of them before 2024 ends. We'll see what happens, but she's going to ease it in 2025. So please go visit Kim at Cat Hair and Chaos. These schedules are on the Facebook group. We do have a Facebook group. If I can remember, I always say I'm going to put in my description box, and I forget, and this, somebody doesn't leave me a comment and say, hey, Crafty Chef, you left it out. For some reason, I just go brain dead when it's description time. All right. So it is, I am working on a whip. It is from the June Paint Along, Diamond Paint with Friends, True Vampire Crafts. I am working on Lion Cub, and we are working on Safe Kitchen. So I do have my little Hello Kitty here. Vivian from Diamonds Around You made this, and it matches perfect with my canvas. So this is a Puffy Gator canvas. It has 45 colors. I am almost finished with it. I just have this top part area. I am working on another diamond painting. I'm going to work with these 2 colors here today. Downstairs. I'm upstairs in my craft room. And then I have this beauty that I'm working on for a friend. It's a custom, and this is from Rhinestone Goddess Creation. So when Donna came, I actually finished this area right here. So all of this is finished right here, and then I went up. This planter is done, and now I'm working my way here. I'm working on this, I think it's a recliner. So now, and then I finished all of this right here. All this is done, and I'm right here on his vest. Yeah, I haven't shared with Rose my update. I will. I want to finish the vest area, kind of like even this out right here, and then do a progress. She's going to say, where's bro's face? Where's his face? Okay. So yeah, I'm working on this. It is around 45 colors. I am going to work on these 2 colors, 605 and 3689. I'm not used to the whip and chat. This is all new to me. I'm more of a chatter than a whipper. You guys know that. I have all my little friends around with me. So last time that we talked about Safe Kitchen, a lot of you were really interested in that. And I know we're getting so close to Thanksgiving, and I just started it. We had, there's been so many outbreaks happening. You had the boarheads, you had Milo poultry. I am a subscriber to the USDA Foods to find out about different other foods that are being recalled. There's a lot of foods that make it into the United States without inspection, and then they come here and that food is not treated properly, and then we have issues. Right now, as of November 13th, 104 people are infected with this outbreak of E. coli at McDonald's that have been reported in 14 states. The FDA and the CDC and the state's partners continue investigating the multi-state outbreak. They did have one death in Colorado. The outbreak was linked to the slivered onions that they serve on the quarter pounders. At first, they pulled all of the quarter pounder meats off the market. I don't know how many pounds were recalled and destroyed. And then they did more testing and found out it was from the onions, and it was an outbreak of the E. coli. So they are still doing investigation on the onions and what part of the onions when it became unsafe. So we'll probably hear more news about that. But right now, they have been flagged to put the quarter pounders back into the restaurants. I don't know about the onions. I don't know about the onions. Maybe I'll find out some more information. We are getting really close to Thanksgiving, and a lot of you are going to be pulling your turkeys out. This is the week coming to start. If you're doing very large turkeys, it takes anywhere between, depending on the size of your turkey, anywhere between 2 to 4 days to thaw them in the refrigerator. There's 2 ways that you can thaw them. You can pull them, if you have a large enough refrigerator, to put them in your refrigerator in a basin and let them thaw. Just let them thaw. I keep my refrigerator down at 33 degrees, so it takes a little bit longer, as well as that is the temperature that I have at my school. I will be pulling out turkeys for a big turkey dinner that we're having on the 25th at the school. So all of my turkeys have to come out and start thawing. Or you can have continued cool water on your turkeys. That's a lot of water waste. Do not make it potable water. That is no good. Bacteria will grow, guys. We're talking poultry. We're talking salmonella, okay? So my recommendation, the safest way to thaw your turkey is in the refrigerator. Buy it and put it in the refrigerator. And then do not let it sit in its own juice, in the drippings as it thaws. Continue to, I always drain the, you can put it on a rack also. You can get a 9x13 pan with a rack in it. I don't like my meat sitting in its own defrosted water. I always dump it all the time. Let's see. So basically what we went over last week, it takes 2 or more people for an outbreak and for them to get a hold of the regulatory office. We talked about how it affects a business and how it can affect a human life. You have loss of customers, negative media exposure, lawsuits. Oh my gosh, even with, there's going to be, even McDonald's is going to get busted. People are so happy. And hopefully, I am the type of person, if I'm going to get sick over an issue, it's only my personal views. I want them to take care of my hospital my expense, my loss of wages. I'm not out it for the almighty dollar, but some are. They lost loved ones because of somebody's not being responsible in their factories or in their stores. Increased insurance premiums, loss of reputation, loss of staff and morale. Staff is missing work because they get sick as well. And then you have to train all of your staff. What happens to the victims of a foodborne illness and what they could experience? Again, loss of work, medical cost, long-term disability if the disease gets into their nervous system, and they just it's kind of like Lyme disease. Sometimes a foodborne illness will always affect you in your nervous system. And then of course there's death. You can die from a foodborne illness. We did talk about contaminations. You have the biological contaminants, pathogens that are a great threat to the food safety. Huge, huge. You can't smell it. You can't taste it. It has to be under a microscope. Bacteria grows at certain temperatures, and we're going to be going over a lot of that. Then we have chemical contaminants, food service chemicals and contaminants of food. If somebody's taking food is prepared incorrectly, and chemicals that may contaminate food. Chemical contaminants are included in cleaners, sanitizers, and polishes. Physical, that's another big one. It's just foreign objects in the food. It can always start at the farm. It can start at the factory. It can start at the butcher's. A lot of them will use hooks to hang up your meat. That can be left in there. Glass, dirt, bag ties, all kinds of stuff. Metal shavings, fish bones. There's hair that falls from your head, fingernails. Those are physical contaminants that make it into the food. All right, and then we talked about how food becomes unsafe. The first one is purchasing food from unsafe sources, failing to cook food correctly, holding food at incorrect temperatures, using contaminated equipment, practicing poor hygiene. Horrible. I mean, this stuff happens every single day. We talked about TCS foods. TCS foods is time-controlled safety foods. Those are foods that need to always have their temperature taken and stay within their zones. Where is it? I'm so sorry. I haven't had enough coffee this morning, you guys. Milk and dairy products, beef, pork and lamb, fish, baked potatoes, tofu, fruits, eggs, poultry, shellfish, sprouts, and untreated garlic and oil mixtures. All of that needs to have a thermometer go through them, a random thermometer. Always need to check. We do have a danger zone. And we'll go over the danger zone. It is 40 to 140. They've changed it a couple of times, so I say it is 135. No, 40 to 135. You don't want to go over 135. Bacteria starts to grow. Who is affected by foodborne illness? Elderly people, preschool-age children, and people with compromised immune systems that have cancer, chemotherapy, HIV, AIDS, and transplant recipients. Their immune system, because they've gone through so much, is compromised. So what we're going to talk about today, I am going to show you this really quick. These are the thermometers that I use at my job. And we have buckets. We have a green bucket and we have a red bucket. And you'll see these later on as we go on. One is for just a cleaning agent, and the other one is sanitizer. And they cannot be on your surfaces. I have like a cart that travels around with me at my job, and it has those buckets on there with a cloth in each one. You cannot leave a cloth laying on your counter at your job, at my job. They need to be in their proper areas. This is just a regular thermometer that I use. I always turn it off after I'm done. If I'm measuring food, I have it set under Fahrenheit. If I'm measuring food, and they calibrate themselves. You want to put the thermometer in the thickest part of the meat, and you want to check the temperature 3 times. You want it to get it to 165. Hold that temperature for 15 seconds. That's the same with vegetables. Say if I'm going to do heat up, I'm going to make southern green beans. I prepare all of my stuff, and I start everything in a microwave because I need it to get a certain temperature before it can be moved over into a holding pot for cooking. And so I need the temperature to be at least at 145. I want to get it up to 165, hold it at 145. And then I will use another type of thermometer. It really doesn't matter because I have thermometers hanging all over the place. I like this one because it's purple and it works the same way. And you just sanitize them and you turn them on, and they have lights. And then if you're going to do a hand thermometer, I would recommend to get these before Thanksgiving. These cost like $10. These one here are the ones that you calibrate yourself. They have the sheaths with it, and it has a calibration wrench on the bottom part right here. And you would calibrate these in an ice bath, and that's in a further chapter that we will go over. Anything that has been approved from National Service Foods is NSF certified. So all my equipment in my kitchen at school has to be certified. Even my knives, some of my knives, I do have my personal knives, but they are all NSF certified. There's a lot of regulations you have to go through in order to open up a food establishment. Let's get this started. At least let me get me some diamonds down here for a little bit. Turn on my pad. There's so much to learn about food, and it's interesting. It's kind of like being a doctor. You're a food doctor. Because you are. It's my job to keep these children safe. All right. I'm going to start with this one here. And today what I wanted to go over was regulations. And then basically in the next chapter, it's going to be breaking down the 3 contaminants that we talked a lot about. Chemical, biological, biological, chemical, and physical. It's going to break it all down. And the different food sources. Today what I wanted to talk about was the FDA and your regulatory offices, and who takes care of the food, who inspects the food, who keeps us safe, who writes the code, what do you do about who are the agencies that work with the folks for tribal foods? There's a lot of foods that people use that are they want to stay within their country. And they need to have food codes from your local and state regulatory offices in order to serve that food. Sorry, guys. This is all new to me. And I'm talking by myself with you guys. I'm just going to let this video fly. I have to. I mean, I was like, I just went through a lot yesterday. I don't know what it was. Some days are just not ready for filming, I guess, right? Okay, so you have your state and regulatory authorities who create regulations and inspection agencies such as the Center for Disease Control is the CDC, and the U.S. Public Health Service, PHS, that help with food safety as well. The FDA. The FDA inspects all food except for meat, poultry, and eggs. The agencies also regulate food transport across the state lines. In addition, the FDA issues a food code. This science-based code provides recommendations for food safety regulations. The food code was created for city, county, states, and tribal agencies. That's the one I was telling you, tribal agencies. These agencies regulate food service for the following groups: restaurants and retail stores, vending operations, schools and daycare centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. Although the FDA recommends that states adopt the food code, it cannot require it. The FDA also provides technical support and training. This is available for industry and regulatory agencies. Several other agencies have an important role in food safety and the prevention of foodborne illness. USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, regulates and inspects meat, poultry, and eggs. The USDA also regulates food that crosses state boundaries or involves more than one state. The CDC and the PHS, these agencies assist in the FDA, the USDA, and the state and local health departments. They conduct research into the causes of a foodborne outbreak. They also assist in investigating outbreaks. So these guys are very busy right now going with McDonald's and checking everybody, and as well as your local regulatory offices, the FDA, with the food codes. Yes, I had a lot of problems trying to memorize these different codes. State and local regulatory authorities. Regulatory authorities write and adapt the codes that regulate retail and food service operations. Codes may differ from the FDA food code because these agencies are not required to adapt it. Regulatory offices have many responsibilities. Here are some of the responsibilities related to the safety. And remember, and I forgot to state this in the very beginning of the video because I'm a hamster on a wheel. This is for entertainment purposes only. Okay. Expecting operations, enforcing regulations, investigating complaints and illnesses, issuing license and permits, approving construction, reviewing, and approving a HACCP plan. And that's a huge plan that we'll go over. So this is state and local regulatory offices. Okay, so who writes the codes that regulate retail and food service operations? That is your state and local health departments. Who conducts research into the causes of a foodborne outbreak? That is the CDC and the PHS. Who inspects meat, poultry, and eggs? USDA. And who writes the food code? FDA. Who inspects retail and food service operations? And that will be your state and local health departments. That is tough to remember that. Really, it is, you guys. So then we just have, I'm going to do a food study first, and then we'll go over, I don't know if we're in 27 minutes in. Let me have a sip of my coffee. I'm going to put down some more drills. So Monday, I am going to go to Restaurant Depot. And I have to pick up 2 more turkeys. I already have 2 turkeys. I will put them on sheet pans, and I will put them in my refrigerator. All of my meat goes on the bottom shelf of the refrigerator. I have these big, huge refrigerations, and maybe I can take pictures or a small video. And then they go on big sheet pans, and I will drain them every day. All of my meat goes on the very bottom of the shelf because I do not want anything dripping on my food. Always store your meat on the bottom level. Never put your greens and stuff under your meat, because if it does drip, it will get into it's contamination. You're getting a cross contamination. And we will go in further detail with that as well. So then I'll probably buy a lot of my supplies at Costco, because I'll probably do 20 pounds of potatoes, and I'll start prepping those, and I soak them in salt water, and then I keep those in the refrigerator, and those will stay at a temperature of 33 degrees. And then I will do my southern green beans, and I start those off in the microwave to get them up to a temperature. A lot of people use crock pots and stuff for large cookings, or I don't have big stove tops. A lot of my equipment is induction. So I do use some approved crock pots at my job, but you have to bring the temperature up. You cannot start anything in a crock pot at a cold state and bring it up to temperature, because it will not get up to temperature in the time, because it'll start breeding bacteria. Does a lot of people know that about crock pots? A lot of people will just throw all kinds of stuff together: cold water, broth, raw chicken, vegetables, and then they walk away and they turn it on. It takes at least 2 hours as that crock pot is heating up and it's breeding bacteria before it gets to its proper temperature. And a lot of times nowadays they're all computerized, Instant Pots and crock pots, and I use the old-fashioned ones. I get it to a temperature to where it needs to be, and then I hold that temperature. But a lot of people rely on your temperature gadgets. Never rely on a piece of equipment's temperature. Even the refrigerator, I do random refrigeration checks. Always have your thermometer. This is what you want to rely on. We call all the other bells and whistles idiot lights. Those are idiot lights. Yes, they show that what your temperature box should be, but is it really reading the right temperature? Am I making any sense? Sometimes it's hard to explain food safety because it goes in such detail. It really does. Don't leave the food hanging out on the counters. I remember when I was a kid and it was Thanksgiving, after we would eat and we would do turkey picking, and then it was always kind of cold and everything went in the garage, and mom would keep the carcass in there for a couple of days because it would be so cold where we lived that the garage was a refrigerator. I'm surprised nobody got sick back then, but things were different back then. I mean, food wasn't processed the way it is now. Really, it's not. Okay. So this one case study I wanted to do is on Lucas. I'm gonna grab me a cup of coffee. I'm sorry, you guys. Like, I'm not used to these. All right. And then I'm going to leave you thinking about Lucas, and you can put your comments down below of what you think he did wrong. Okay. Food safety is important to every food service operation, and the cost of a foodborne illness outbreak can be high. However, you can avoid outbreaks by recognizing the importance of food safety, recognizing how food can become unsafe, identifying the risks associated with the high-risk populations, training and monitoring staff, and following the keys to food safety. Okay, Lucas was not happy because he was working by himself. His coworker called in sick, and they were expecting their regular Wednesday night group of softball players. Lucas was not feeling well. On top of this, the large group canceled at the last minute. Unfortunately, Lucas had already started cooking a dozen burgers on the grill. Lucas finished cooking the hamburger patties until they were well done, and then he put them in a pan on the counter. Maybe somebody will order the burgers later, he thought, because there were not enough customers yet. He made a quick run to the restroom. When he finished, he wiped his hands on his apron, combed his hair, and headed back to the kitchen. 20 minutes later, Lucas got his first customer of the evening. They were an elderly man and his 4-year-old granddaughter. Lucas was happy when they ordered a burger to share. "Cook it medium," the man said. "It looks like the pre-made burgers would stay on the counter for a while." Lucas went back to the kitchen and put the fresh patty on the grill. When he wiped off the cutting board he had used earlier for prepping raw chicken, he sliced the tomato and onion. Then the burgers just passed medium rare, and he plated it up. What did Lucas do wrong? And what should have Lucas done? I'm going to leave that at that, guys, and we can discuss it in my next video, and then we'll do a chapter summary, and then we're going to break down the 3 contaminants, and I have some serve safe questions for that chapter. That's pretty cool, right? And then we'll get into the Shigella outbreak. Yeah, does anybody know what Shigella is? Let me know in the comments down below. Have a wonderful day, and I will have I'll try to remember to get the Facebook group in the description box. If I don't do it, somebody leave me a comment. Say, hey, Laura, you forgot about that. Thanks for being with me today, guys. Food safety is really, really important. I know a lot of you are getting ready for your big meals if you are preparing meals at home. And just a few things really quick. Minimum temperatures and holding time, 165. That is a big number. Jot that down on a piece of paper if you're going to reheat anything, or if it's coming out of the oven. Poultry, chicken, turkey, duck, goose, whole parts or ground, soup, stew, stuffing, casseroles, mixed dishes, stuffed meat, poultry, fish, pasta. Get it to that internal temperature of 165. Like I said, these don't cost very much. Not at all. Get a thermometer. Keep your family safe. Keep everybody safe. 155 Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. Hamburger, meatloaf. Okay, get it to that temperature. I always go 165, but you know, even for eggs, scrambled eggs, shellfish. All right, 145 for 15 seconds. Beef, corned beef, pork, ham, roast. Hold it for an additional 4 minutes. Fresh shell eggs, broken, cooked, served immediately. So if you're going to do scrambled eggs, make sure you hit it 145. 135 is holding time, okay? If you heated something and you reach the 165, but you want to do a holding temperature, is at 135, okay? Remember your danger zone, 40 to 140. That is when bacteria starts to grow. And we do have, here is your USDA meat and poultry hotline, 1-800-MF hotline. The FDA food information line, 1-800-SAFE-FOOD. You can go to the USDA right here. You've got their email address here, and you can get updates just like I do on all of the stuff that's going to be recalled and keeping you guys safe. All right, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Have a wonderful day. Love you all. See you after a few miles today, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. We'll talk about it.